Hey first graders, we're going to be using this video today to review the primary colors and how you could use them to make the secondary colors. You're going to be using watercolor to blend together and make the secondary colors using only red, yellow, and blue. Just in case you forgot the combinations of what colors of the primary colors make what secondary colors, just use this video and it'll help you each time you forget. So you're going to take a look at this. These are the primary colors. These are the secondary colors. We're going to be using watercolors to create this, and I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. So we were just talking about the primary colors. Let's go over those again. We have on the primary side red, yellow, and blue. And if we were ever lost on a deserted island and we only had 3 colors left to use for the rest of our lives on this deserted island, I would say you'd want to, if you could only have 3 colors, you'd want to have these colors, because if you had them, you could combine them, you can blend them together, you could mix them and make the secondary colors. And we've reviewed those, so let's see if we could fill those in so we know what we need to achieve today. We need to make orange. We need to make green. And we need to make purple. All right, so let's get started. I have my watercolor paints. I have my water and my brush I'm going to be using. And I'm going to start with the primary colors, because remember, those are the only 3 colors I'm allowed to have. So I'm going to start with my yellow. And remember, we do not want to have we don't want to be digging into the paint. We just want to get a nice little wet brush, maybe a couple 2 or 3 taps, and then I'm going to start by getting a nice circular dab of yellow. That looks really nice. Now remember, we don't want to mess up all the other paint, so we need to clean our brush in between. I'm going to wipe that off so it's not super wet. Now I'm going to get my next primary color. Remember, I'm not allowed to pull from these out of my watercolor set. So I need to get my red. Put a nice dab of that. Now I'm going to get my next color. We have our last primary color, blue. And now it's going to be time to mix our secondary colors using only yellow, red, and blue. So I'm going to clean off my brush. I'm going to start in between my red and my yellow. And if you were to guess, which one do you think it will be? My guess is it's going to be orange, but let's see. I'm going to start with yellow because it's a little lighter than red. Now I'm going to clean my brush. I'm going to get my red. I'm going to blend those together. Ooh, it's a nice dark orange. I'm going to add a little bit more water to spread that out. Ooh, orange. Just like we guessed. Now I'm going to go in between blue and red. So I'm going to start with red. Now, what do you think is going to happen when we mix blue? My guess is purple. I'm going to grab my blue now. I'm going to mix that in there. Ooh. Anybody know another name for purple? It is violet. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to get my blue and yellow and mix them together to get my last color. and it has to be green. It's the last secondary color we're trying to mix. So I am going to grab my yellow, because it's lighter than blue, and I'm going to get my blue, and I'm going to mix them together. And we just made our last secondary color. We made green. So there's also something called tertiary colors. Tertiary colors are like the colors in between orange and yellow and orange and red, and there's colors in between. So let's try to mix those. This is only if you are trying to like really get a specific color. Oh, I need my grass a little lighter, or I need my grapes a little darker. So you're going to think about how to mix those colors in between. Let's see how we do this. So I'm going to take my brush, get a little water, and I'm going to drag a little bit of this yellow. Maybe I'll even add a little more yellow. I'm going to drag this orange, and I'm going to kind of blend them in between. And look at that. We got a kind of yellowish orange. That looks awesome. Now I'm going to go in. I'm going to spread my red, maybe get a little bit more on there. Go up here, get my brush, get my orange. And we got kind of a more reddish orange going. Now I'm going to be trying to make a reddish violet or a reddish purple. So I'm going to go get my red again, blend that in, take a little bit of water, clean off my brush, get the purple or the violet going, and we got a nice reddish purple, reddish violet. Next up, I'm going to grab my blue, and I'm going to connect it with my purple. Now I have a cool blue violet. And my last two that I need to connect, I'm going to take my blue, I'm going to take my green, make that nice blue-green, and then lastly, make the yellow-green. All right, so that was the primary and the secondary colors, and we also made some tertiary colors. Those are going to be just if you're trying to get a color that's a little bit different than your classic primary and secondary colors. All right, now let's practice this again on our worksheets.